Hey there! You're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with more of The Sims 2 for a September full of Sims. We are here in the Council Hall, or on the Council Hall lot, and it's almost finished, but I wanted to bring you in to do some of the fun little finishing decorating touches. I have put in all the windows. We have a nice little sign on top of the hall, as I do for most buildings in most business buildings in Acanthop. For example, if we scroll around here, we should be able to see, yep, you can see a sign over here for the bank and the bakery, as well as, I believe we might, yep. We can just see over there. It's a little hard to see, but over here you can see pets and toys to show the pet and the toy shop. So here is the sign for the hall, and I want to show you, give you a little tour and show you how things came out. So, we have employees now, and I'm proud to present Kathy, one of the quirkiest members of Acanthop Isle. Kathy is our new newspaper editor for the Acanthop Times. I think I could use a good newspaper name for Acanthop, like the Acanthop Journal or the Daily Acanthop Gazette or something like that. Have you got a nice quirky name for Acanthop's newspaper? If you do, feel free to let me know. All right, so I'm going to start over here on the right hand side and show you the council hall and how it's going to work. This is the council table. I'm going to put some decorations possibly on here, something to make this seem a little bit more stately and formal. These shelves are pretty empty, so we're going to be decorating those in this episode. And over here you can see these question mark signs here on the wall. You might be wondering what those are about. That is part of a mod by SimLogical, which is a site which still exists and still has all of her Sims 1 and Sims 2 downloads there, and I use many of her mods. SimLogical has this sort of meeting controller thing, which allows you to basically call all of the members that are on these tokens to this controller, and then they will stay here on the lot selectable until you end the meeting. So it's called a meeting controller, and every member of the Elder Council will be on these tokens. If you click on a token, you can choose the sim you want to enroll. And since I happen to have a sim here that I know is going to be part of the Elder Council, I will put her on. And the sim does not have to be on the lot, by the way. We have a new sim in Acanthop, which you're going to meet later. She's upstairs. But there she is. You need to pause and unpause to make the sim show up. And this is Tashonda Malin, and you will meet her in a minute. She is going to be Acanthop's new court judge. So here's Giles. Giles' eyes are very, very light, so it often looks like he's not got any, but he's got very light gray eyes, which is why his eyes always look sort of odd like that. Anyway, so all the council members will be on this, and I feel like it's a neat little kind of way to commemorate which counselors are here, while also calling them in for meetings when I want to do so for storytelling purposes. The courtroom is finished, and I've tried it out. And I have these signs up here, these little elephant signs. They just kind of struck me as being interesting way to, each sign is slightly recolored slightly differently. These are Maxis, by the way. Oh, I love this. Love this particular music. This one here is Justice. I call this series Justice in Motion. Justice in Motion 1, Justice in Motion 2, Justice in Motion 3. That's not what Maxis calls them. Let's look and see. Dancing Around the Tree is what they're called. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. So in my mind, it's just repurposing some decorating stuff and making it mean something else. Plus it looks good for the room and it's cool. So we're calling it the Justice series and it represents justice somehow. Figure it out if you can. I don't know. Here's the witness stand. Here's the judge's stand. And I'll show you how they work later on. And then this is where the judge or perhaps maybe the court clerk would write up the day's events. Let's go to the second floor. I was showing my husband this lot earlier. He was quite pleased with it. He's just a great husband in so many ways, but he never makes fun of my simming. He never makes silly jokes. He's never like, oh, that doll game or anything. None of that stuff. He's like, oh, let me see your new courthouse. Oh, it looks great. So he said, when I showed him this, he said, because I didn't really know what this area was going to be. It was sort of be an, let's try that again. I did not know what this area was going to be. I didn't know if it was going to be maybe just a little reading area. He said, well, obviously this is where, you know, this is the law library right here. And I thought, oh, it is. So it is. So thanks to my husband for that. And this is the mayor's office. Love the way this came out. Particularly this rug, which I will show you where this rug is from. This is from Wall Sims. WALLSIMS. Wall Sims. It's the Naya rug. I don't know if Wall Sims is still around. But it used to be wallsims.net. Google it and see if you can find it. But any case, this is the deed. And because I've decided that the head of the elder council will be also play the role of the mayor in the town. The neat thing about an integrated world is that when Giles, our current mayor, steps down from being the mayor, he will pass this deed along to whoever is the next mayor. So this shows that he owns the building here. And here's a fun little story. I've said this numerous times and I'll say it again for you new folks coming in. An integrated Sims world means that your Sims all, oh, I don't know. I guess it means that Sims go off and do things on other lots and it affects the lots that you're playing. For example, I have open for business, and so at the cemetery, which I was working on some episodes back now, you can see that on the playlist. There's a link to the playlist in the description box below. Here's the cemetery, and at the cemetery you can buy flowers which are created by our good Reverend Honoria, who lives in the house behind the cemetery. And one of the neat things about the crafting stations that came with OFB is when a sim makes something, you can name that item whatever it is they're making. And also when that item, when another sim goes and buys that item, it shows up in their inventory. I'm going to put this back in his inventory so I can show you what it says. It's pretty cool. So when I went into Giles' inventory here to see if he had anything for decorating his office, I found two items. I found two flowers. And this is called Honoria's Mixed Flower Bouquet because that's what I named it. And it even tells you, if you can see just here at the bottom of, I'm pointing at my screen. You guys can't see me pointing at my screen. At the bottom of the text here, it says made at Acanthop, the cemetery. So it even tells you what lot the sim bought the item on, which is so cool. And so when I go into a sim's inventory, and you can see he has toys here because he was shopping at the toy store. So for example, if one of his other sim friends has a baby, we already have some toys for that baby to give as a gift. So here's the inventory, taking that out of the inventory and putting it back here on the table. I'm also going to take out one of these bricks and put it here to remind me, and I didn't want to take both of those out. Yeah. To remind me that I'm going to put the brick up here on this table, which we'll do in a little bit. So this is the mayor's office. These bookshelves are by Adele. Just sort of showing the highlights here. These bookshelves are by part of the Amelia set. By Adele, and Adele's work, most of it is on Mod the Sims. Over here, we have a couple of chess tables here. And then we have the newspaper office, complete with a newspaper vending machine where Sims, I'll show you the options here. They can either read the headlines or they can actually buy a paper. And they can buy a paper autonomously. I have turned that feature off because it's too overpowered and the Sims do nothing but read newspapers and then throw them on the floor and it's a big mess. But I can have a Sim come over and read the newspaper and sit down and actually have, let me bring Giles down here. I'm pretty sure he'll sit down in this chair right nearby, but I haven't tried it out yet, so let's find out. So he'll grab a paper. Oh, and he sits here in this chair. Good enough. And he will just enjoy the local paper. While he's doing that, let me come down here. During my playtesting, Kathy took this little tool and put it down here, so I'm going to put it back where I want it to go. There we go. This is the newspaper office, and Kathy is the editor. And let me show you what Kathy does. She writes a lot of articles. Using Monique's computer, I can come over here and I can, under the write, here we go, write. I can ask a visitor to write an article. So I'm going to ask Kathy to get over here and write an article. And she is going to write a news and editorial article. And you can see she comes right upstairs. And she will write an article. And she is an employee of the mayor's. So the money the mayor makes from this lot goes to paying his employees, as well as going towards city improvements, building new community buildings, things like that. I have this drafting table here because I imagine that Kathy might also do the Sunday editorial cartoons. I'm going to have Giles show you the little copy machine here. So she's pounding away. She's already 25% done with that article. Let me show you the animations for this little copy machine. I love it. All the clocks I use in game are working clocks, like this one on the wall you see here. And he gets 40 simoleons for each magazine he copies. And he'll just continue doing that until you cancel out the animation. This copy machine is called the Copy Station Zimrox X. Let me show you right here. That's it. So go to 720p and pause to see this. And it's by an old defunct site that went down years ago. But you can still find their content over at the Sims 2 Graveyard. And it's PC Sims is what the name of the site is called over there, I believe. But anyway, yeah, you can find that copy station and many other modded things that I'll show you over the years. The other thing that Kathy can do, and when she's done with that article, I will show you. It will give me a little pop-up when she's done. So that's the newspaper area there. Oh, and also, I imagine that, oh, two more things I missed here. One is, this is where all the past editions of the newspaper are kept, so people can come in and look at old editions. And this is a little camera that Kathy uses to catalog interesting events that are happening in the world of Acanthop outside her window. Kathy will also get some cameras to put in her inventory as well too, which I will do when I am playing her lot. I'll show you which cameras I'm talking about. These are all modded cameras. I have a lot of mods that I've gotten over the years that help bring more life to the game. This is also by PC Sims, and I highly recommend you just go over there and download pretty much everything you can get from PC Sims. But they have these cameras, and the Sims will actually pick them up. This is my favorite one. Pick it up and take pictures. And I'll show you the menu really quickly here. So you can make a photo of a certain person and they'll come over and pose in front of the camera, or you can just take a photo of the area, just like the same camera menu that you get from the antique camera. And so I may have like some of these cameras sitting out here for display. And in fact, why don't I just put one down here and one down here? I have 3 cameras. There we go. And I will put those out as we continue decorating. Continuing on upstairs, this is what I'm calling the commissary, the little cafe, complete with a nice little menu here. And what do we have to eat? Turkey, chef salad, and my favorite, nectarine tartlet. And this comes the best part, the thing I'm most proud of and what we'll be working on most of the time in this episode. And that is the Acanthop Historical Society. It's in the middle of being worked on right now. Let me give you a tour of what's here already. Giles still needs to hire a director, and that person will run the cashier here, the cash register. So this is one of the coolest things about having a historical society in your neighborhood. I love these, and I had one in my previous neighborhood, and it's so much fun. What I've done is I've taken pictures of Acanthop, the neighborhood out in Hoodview, and then I made paintings of them. This is a recolor of, let's find this painting. Here we go. This painting from Pet's Sirloin Shuffle. This is the original painting right there. That painting I did recolors of and have put them up on the wall, and they will go up for sale. As well as these paintings are also pictures of Acanthop. And I was saying to my husband earlier that this is the only game that you can play. You can make your own world completely from scratch. Then go into the world, take pictures of the world, and then turn them into paintings that can be sold within the world with the little people that you've made in your world. It's the ultimate dollhouse. And this is a little quirky picture of the this is on the mainland. Dockside is what it's called. It's the neighborhood on the mainland. And when I say the mainland, I mean obviously it's a real place because you just looked at it. But yeah, for those of you coming in, it's across the ocean on the other side of the sea, which by the way does not have a name. I don't have a name for that sea yet. These paintings in here are not for sale. They're paintings that Giles painted. But I imagine that a local famous artisan painted these. So they're going to be originals, and these are considered to be reproductions, these paintings over here. There's a few more over here. And they have frames around them because one of the expansion packs, I want to say it was Free Time, came with the ability to frame the pictures that you get from the easel. You can remove the frame, and you can see it's just a regular easel painting there. And you can put the frame back, light wood. You have several choices. Dark wood. That looks pretty nice, but I'll keep it at light wood. They have white, gold. So keep that in mind when you're doing easel paintings, that you can now frame them if you have the expansion pack, which allows it. Now, the hard part is figuring out what you're going to do in a historical society that the Sims can actually interact with and brings more meaning to the game. So what I did was I went through my decorating catalog and just looked through the different decorating areas here. I looked through plants, through sculptures, through paintings, and through miscellaneous to come up with all of these items. My thought was, well, most towns are sort of, you know, well known for something, like well known for their excellent flowers, or well known for their large forests, or well known for their whatever. So I figured that Acanthop would sell things that were kind of locally made. These are beach rocks that have been tumbled and are put on display here for you to buy. These clay pots are made from local stone and clay. These bowls are also made from local clay, and this is Tashonda here hanging out. She was looking at the fish earlier. And then over here, there are going to be two displays that we're going to set up today. And one over here is for nature and flora and fauna, as my husband called it. And over here is for technology. And then this is a picture of the sovereignty, the first sovereignty in Acanthop Isle. Let's head downstairs and get to some decorating. And while we're doing that, I'll also give you some other ideas for ways that you can make your historical society come alive. These are ideas I'm going to be trying as well, too. So first of all, I have some newspapers here. I'm going to put those over here. I'm taking all this stuff and putting it on the ground because I'm going to be using OMSPs. So with your historical society, it's a actual living, breathing historical society. In other words, when you have your Sims do something, like for example, someone becomes the new mayor, take a picture of the new mayor with the old mayor and put it in the historical society room. Take a photograph of it. You can use the university camera, the one upstairs, or you can use a modded camera or the one that comes with a Bon Voyage. I want some books here, so let's head over to the knowledge section. If you have some ideas, and have I got my... Yes, I do. I was just making sure I had the quarter tile sheet on. So I'm going to grab some of the books that I want here to go in this bookshelf here. And two of these, actually one of those and one of this long one, yeah. And I like these, so I'm going to throw this out here too. And then I'm also going to head over here to decorating and get a few books that are not... These books I like because they're all actual mini bookshelves. Let me show you what I mean. When you click on them, do you see? You can, they give you the same pop-up as a actual bookshelf would. So they're a way to avoid having to have a big bookshelf in your house if you don't want them to. But I also have some decorative books here, like some of the ones that were in the Historical Society. And I just have to remember where they're kept. I want to say they're here for some reason in statues. I do have books here, as you can see, stack of books, but these are not the ones I'm looking for. Holy Bible? Nope. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you the most important part of our fantastic Historical Society. So I'll go back upstairs in a minute. Here, this is what I'm looking for. A fantastic quest tome. I'm going to go for... here we go. Yeah, some books like that. And I'm going to go for this book here. Does that have any recolors? No, it does not. Okay. There's one more thing I forgot to show you upstairs. I can't believe I forgot to show you. Let's head back up there. I forgot to show you my cute Acanthop sign. Look at that. This is these letters. It's called the Neon Heart Alphabet by Cassandra. And I know that Cassandra puts all of her stuff up at Black Pearl Sims, which is a forum that you can go and there's lots of creators there. And that's actually another good place to download stuff. So you can go over there and take a look, find this wonderful alphabet set. It has all the letters, all the numbers, and a couple of punctuation marks. Has a lot of recolors as well too. And I may have searched around the forum to find those recolors. You may have to search as well too. But in any case, you should be able to find them as well too. And the last thing is our little fishy tank here, which includes fish directly from the oceans around Acanthop Isle. And in a little shipwreck. So anyway, I'm thinking about putting those letters for sale and just seeing how long it takes before one sim actually buys all the letters, or if any sim actually buys all the letters. So, and I mean putting that Acanthop letters for sale. Okay, so let's continue on here. How do I want to have this laid out? So I definitely want a newspaper here that kind of shows the latest news that the council needs to keep up on in the world and here in Acanthop. And then I'm going to put these down here. I'm using the M key to move these items through the different slots. I want this book here, and then I'm going to put this book here, and that one there, and then this one, say, there. But that just still looks too, you know, when you only use the slots, it looks too regimented. Not natural. So let's get some OMSPs going in here, and I need to be over here in surfaces. And I'm going to whip out my favorite OMSPs. This is the small one here, the small set. OMSP stands for one more slot package. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should do for now. So if you're not careful, they kind of disappear on the floor until I raise them up. But I'm going to grab one. I'm going to raise it up here. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to wait a minute. This book I definitely want. I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to make sure that that book goes right there. So I'm going to now, at this point, temporarily turn off the grid by doing snap objects to grid off, or using my alias for that, so I can have things be exactly the way I want them to be. Like that. And then this book here, I'm going to put right by the phone. Like that. Maybe right about here. I want it to look like, you know, a sim just put it there after they were done reading it. I'm going to take this one here, copy it, if I do not, for some reason, if I forget to tell you where something, because I can't tell you where everything's from, then the best place to find out is to head over to a Where Can I Find forum. The best one's at Mod the Sims. Show them the video, show them what you're looking for, and there are lots of people there who can find it a lot quicker than it would take for me to answer it. Okay, so this is looking a little bit off. I don't like how off that's looking. I don't want it to look off. I want it to look perfect, or at least as close to perfect as I can get. That's going to be all right. And I want to, this I don't like sitting right here in the middle, so I'm going to take it and put it on this OMSP here. And it looks like this OMSP is not the quite right angle. I mean, the right height. OMSPs can be, I don't know about a pain, but it just takes a little bit of patience to work with to find the right height. So I'm going to go for a number 4 and see if that's a better height. Each of these OMSPs are very, looks like 5 will be a little better. She has them done by tiny little increments so that you can always find the right one for this particular, for whatever shelf you're going for. That should do it. Nope, still too low. That's better. There we go. Doing this little decorating stuff is one of my favorite things to do. So we have a bunch of open area here for the shelves. And as tempting as it is to put something on every single area of the shelf, I recommend that you don't do that. because over time, as your Sims come up with more interesting little pictures and things like that, then you can fill it up with things so that every day your neighborhood becomes more unique and more interesting. Okay, let's take out some more 8s. 1, 2, maybe 3. And let me see what I have in my decorating area here that will fit what I'm looking for. I have one object I know that I go for a lot. There's a little plant that I like. That's the big one, but I'll put that here. And then there's a small one that matches it. This one right here. See? I like that. There, and then I have this kind of elephant, which is going to tie in with the elephants on the court hall wall that I'm looking for here. It is a little it's painstaking to collect all the decorative stuff, or I should say decorative stuff, but it's way worth it when you get that look going that you're looking for. I'm going to look for the elephant, and as usual, I'll pause, and then I'll be back with you when I found it. I found 2 fun things. Here's the elephant I was looking for. Put him about like so. And of course, we must have, let's see if I can get him to fit in here just right. That's a little bit too, he's a little bit too high for this shelf. Let me put him over here. I'll put the newspaper here. And then Mr. Will Wright can go right there. And there you have it. So there is such a thing as an OMSP controller, which will allow you to make all the OMSPs you have on your lot disappear and reappear at once. Unfortunately, it doesn't work well for me, so I'm just going to go through and quickly. I found it's a lot easier to just do this than mess with that. Because I would set it to all be disappeared, and then I'd come back to the lot and they'd all be there again, and I had to set it, so it's just fuss and bother, fuss and bother. Okay, so there, our shelves done. And even though, like I said, OMSPs make things, you know, not a little bit more tedious to put together, and it takes time, boy, is it worth it. And knowing that, you know, when you come up with something, some other neat thing that pertains exactly to the sim, you can put it up there and take one of the things down. And so after a while, this shelf will show things that all have memory for you. Now, let's go in and do another one. I have an idea for the table. Pull out another OMSP. I'm pretty sure this one is going to work well, the number 1, because it goes up to table height and end table height. Very rarely, for custom content like this, do I have to use another OMSP besides 1, sometimes 4. Those tend to be the heights for most Maxis things, but this is a custom content shelf. Okay, I am looking for this. This is a little award. It's a the Gutentagen Award for Excellence in Journalism. And for now, what it's going to represent is a kind of, I don't know, maybe an award that the council is very proud of, that you know, a particularly good article of the newspaper came out with, but it's just to make the table look a little bit more formal. I'm going to put it right in the middle here. And then maybe to give this a little bit more precedence, maybe let's put a tray or something down. I have some trays. If you wanted to, you could go so far as to set a writing pad at each area here to make it look like people are going to take notes and stuff there. Something like that, for example, could be set at each table. And in fact, you know what? I think I will. That looks pretty good. I'll tell you where it's from in just a minute. I can practically feel through the monitor the agony of people going, "Where did she get that? I want to know where she got that. Oh my god. Where did she get that? Tell me now. I'm gonna die." I like that. I think it adds a sense that people are... I do wish it had recolors, but unfortunately it does not. And interestingly, I realized I just missed a place right there. Oops, wrong thing. I don't want to grab the table. I want to grab... Okay, I'll just... Fine. I just need to find that again. Oh, this is cool. I will make this here, be different than everything else, everyone else, to represent the person who has to take notes that time. Now, here is the tray I was looking for. Oh, and I promised to tell you where that was from. I'm sorry. Okay, first of all, the note box, the note book there for the secretary is by Simgadon's, and Simgadon's site, as far as I know, is still up. And the site here is right here in the description box, so go to 720p to see it. And then this desk thing here, where was that? What is this? Oh, yeah. Some decoration that I might not use. Ah, here it is. So this is, I don't know if this site is still around. It was in the very early days of Sims 2 modding. It's called the Eclipse Desk Decoration. It's by 11dots.com. 11dots.com. Don't know if that site is still around, but if it is, go ahead, head over and grab everything you can find there. They did a really nice sets. Okay, I am looking for, a tray, but I'm looking for one that looks right, hopefully. Don't want anything too... No, these trays aren't going to work, as you can see they're too, they don't look formal enough. You see? Very nice. I have a couple of them in separate kitchens in my Sims houses, but that's not going to work. So, let me go... I may not be able to find exactly what I'm looking for this. I don't know if I have a tray that will work the way I want it to. This might. And actually... Oh, and this has recolors, doesn't it? Okay, change of plans. Oh! That's not the change of plans I was going for. Now, I might have a hard time. Yeah. These are hard to delete. I might have to move the table, but I don't want to. Let me turn my snap objects to grid back on again so I can put the table back where I want it to be. And move the table over here, and move this table over here. Oops. The reason why I'm deciding to change is because these wonderful things have recolors. Ah! And the rug too. Sheesh, all of this just to move these. Okay. Nope, that's the chair. Wrong thing. It's very hard to find the grabby spot for these things. There we go. Okay. Now, where were we? Plan B. There. Nope. One too far. There. And here. Yep. Now, these wonderful things are also by Sim Gadons. I'm going to put one here. And then I'll show you what my idea is with this. Let's get down, turn, 1, 2. And then I'm going to recolor these in different colors. Just going straight around the spectrum here. So that each counselor gets a different color if we have enough colors to do it, and I think we do. I think we have just enough colors. Yep. Just enough. And black. There! Look at that. Much better. Let's go ahead and now we have a proper seat of government, complete with whoever randomly sits in this chair has to take notes. Now, let's move on over and do another room now. This room is more or less done, except I would like to have something here to represent Tasha's sort of judgmentship. I'm going to set her to write and ask a visitor to write. I can also have her, yep, auto write article. I'll work on that later. Tashonda, come down here and write an article. Come on down here, girl. I know it's a long way up there, but geesh. Elders. Okay. So she is ready to go. But, you know, judges should be taken seriously, don't you think? Let's see if we can find some sort of plaque. I'm going to pause, look for what I can find, and be right back with you. I found 2 items here, and I was unable to find a nameplate, but I'm going to make one. And it'll be a good opportunity to teach you how to do that really quickly. It's not very hard to do. So, I'm going to turn off Snap Objects to Grid again. And then I'm going to just slide these items in the way I'd like them to be on the desk. Let's have this like, say, this, like here. And then I imagine that these are case books. That's a little messy. Yes, I'm moving her desk away from her, but she'll have it back in a minute. I want it to seem as if the books are leaning up on this this sort of paper tray area here. And then I'm going to put Snap Objects to Grid back on. And then put her desk back. There. She'll never know what happened. And then I will take care of that. I can also try and grab this one, but since the desk is in the way, it's not really worth it, and it's being hidden, and it'll never be seen, so I'm not going to worry about it. This desk, by the way, is another wonderful desk from, I believe this is Buggy Boo's. My favorite. One of my favorite. Nope, no, wait, I may not be. Hold on a second. Let me confer with the judges. Yep, Buggy Boo's. I should have known just because her style is so recognizable and the quality of the meshes. And like I told you, she's one of the few that actually takes the time to add edging like this to this desk. Right here, this drawer. It's freaking nuts, man. She's awesome. Anyway, I hope she watches this one of these days and goes, yay, I feel good. Because I want her to know she's awesome. Somebody go tell Buggy Boo she's awesome. Alright, so, let me show you how I can quickly make And I'm hoping I can remember how to do this. So I'm going to pause and do it once to make sure I've got it right, and then I will come back and show you how I did it. Yay! It worked! Okay, so here is a little sign here on her desk, and I'm going to show you how to make it. It's not hard to do. Here we are with the photo machine. This is this is from university, but it also works with any camera and game that, I mean, it works with any camera and game. The Bon Voyage camera is the other camera, Bon Voyage camera. So what you do is you have the sim, head over here to live mode, and tell the sim to, oh, I guess I'll sell that photo. Didn't want to sell that photo, but anyway, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to shoot the picture. Choose landscape. In this case, you could also choose portrait if you wanted to, but I just chose landscape. Then normal. Then this is the important part. This C key, I mean, when this box comes up telling you to press the C key and choose a subject and all that kind of stuff, pause the game. That's important. Pause the game, press the C key, and it'll take a picture. Now, head over here to your My Documents, EA Games, The Sims 2, Storytelling folder, and you'll see two photographs that look exactly like what you just took a picture of, which is this sort of corner of the room here. And I'll go back here. You see the picture thing was over here, corner of the room. And what you do now is head on into whatever program you're using to make your graphic. This is the program I use. And so I just made a quick little graphic here. And then I want to save that graphic as a bitmap. Not a JPEG, not a PNG, a bitmap. And then I save it over this snapshot. Not the screenshot one, the snapshot one. If you do the screenshot one, nothing will happen. It's just that it won't work and you'll have to do it over again. You want to use the snapshot one right here. Replace that with your new picture. It'll give you a warning. Say it's okay, you want to replace it. Minimize everything. Go back into the game. Zoom in. And start the simulation again. The sim will go through it, the simulation. And right out of the side of the camera, I'm going to zoom in here. Because a lot of people don't know this about this camera, but this is where the picture of the camera comes out. Right here on the side. Right there. That's about as close as you can get. At this point, you can grab this picture. Just grab it. And you'll notice that, bam! Bada bing, bada boom. It turns into a photograph you can place on the wall. And you can do that to make quick in-game photographs of any picture you can think of. I use it for signs a lot, but you can use it in your historical society, for example, if something cool happens in your town. You can, I'm going to put this here. You can take a picture of it really quickly with the university camera using that trick. And take it right over to have your sim take it right over to the historical society and put it up on the wall. Or you can just put it up on the wall in your own home. Or you can give it away as a gift. You can have a sim who is a photographer who goes around your neighborhood and takes pictures of interesting things happening. All kinds of ways you can do it. So, as you know, with let me just take a desk and slap it down here so you can see. So here's a desk. And so for those of you who don't know this, if the picture is near a wall or not near anything, but if you put it on a desk right there, it just, or a countertop or a end table or anything like that, it will automatically turn into a desktop version. I'm going to delete this because I don't need it. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to snap objects to grid off again, just to position this exactly where I want it. And I want this to be right here, about at the edge of the desk. Little thing you should know is that I'm using an OMSP as per usual, but the normal one that I use, this little small purple one, is for small items, which is why it has the small on there. And this painting is considered to be, this photograph is considered to be a large item, so you have to use the green one. This OMSP set is available from Mod The Sims. Just search for OMSP and download every OMSP set you can find. This one is the one that is most downloaded, the one I'm using here, but because you can see I have a lot of them that do different things for different purposes. Anyway, now let's boom. And oops. Okay, here's a okay, here we go. Here's a very good reason why I have and I usually do it. Why I am careful to go to side view when putting in OMSPs, because it's often hard to tell if they're floating. And that was actually floating there. So I wanted to make sure it's right. There we go. Now when it disappears, it will not look like it's floating in the air. As I have been taking pictures and have little things floating in the air because I wasn't careful about the OMSP. Okay, so there you go. There's a sign. Now let's, in the last part of this episode, move upstairs and do some more decorating fun stuff. All I've changed in this bathroom is I've put down a nice utilitarian mirror. There. There's not much we need to do on this floor. It's pretty done. I will, as soon as Kathy gets done doing this article, show you about that, this little cone-shaped item that's over here. That's very important. Let's take them, well, I'll do the cameras off. I'll do the cameras off screen when I'm done recording, because you guys have basically seen that. Let's go up to the Historical Society. But before we do, I really want to put this brick up. Perfect. I think this, oh, that's kind of backwards looking. Let's turn them around. There we go. I think this brick personifies the kind of quirky aspect that Giles has. As you can see the way Giles is dressed, he's not a conformist. He loves riding motorcycles. He's a bad boy. He's an old-timer bad boy. I'll also take some time when Giles goes back to the flower store. I will buy some bouquets with him to put on these tables. But let's head over here. This is the fun part. So I am going to, first of all, explain to you real quickly what these slot blockers are. Hard to say. These are something that I use when I want to decorate and put a lot of things here, but I don't want them all to snap. Let me show you what I mean. It'll automatically snap to the slot here. And what if I don't want it right in the smack dab middle here, which I don't in this case? I'm going to put a slot blocker on to keep that from happening, so I can now put things where I want them to. The slot blocker is from Feenwald, FEENWALD.com. And it's a very neat little tool that I love and very much appreciative. Oops, I just hit the microphone. Sorry about that. Very much appreciative of that coming out. So, this is another situation which we're going to have to do a little bit of twisting and turning. And yeah. And finding the right OMSP. So once again, I'm going to guess and try a 4. And that's not quite flush. Let's try a 6. It's hard to find the one that is the right size. 5. Nope. I'm just guessing. It's too high, so I'm wondering if it needs to be a little lower. That might do. If I can get it perfect, it would be better. And that is about as perfect as I'm going to get. So, it's a number 2. I'm going to put you over here if I can. Jump up on that too. There we go. So I'm going to put these together in the display way that I'm looking for here. And then when I'm done, I'll come back and we will see the finishing aspects of the Historical Society. All done. It's lovely the way it's come out. And I added a few things. One was, or I should say 4 are these drums here, which are from Castaway Stories. And they are right here. They're in hobbies. Bongos, and the larger ones here, which is a Pahu drum. And the Sims can actually play these drums. And you can find these drums available for download at More Awesome Than You. More Awesome Than You. Which is not an insult. That's the name of the site. I threw this book up here. And I consider these to be, these are not for sale. These are going to be basically where the, in my imagination, where the kind of journal of the city is kept. The archivist will keep notes of important things that happen in town, but pretty much everything else in this room will be for sale except for the fish. And the drums I put here because my husband had this great idea. What I was thinking was, as we scroll out here, that I wanted the Historical Society to reflect, you know, the world that we're actually in and sell things from the world. So since Acanthop has a lot of trees, as you can see, I can't scroll back very far in lot view. You can see all the trees up there on the hill. And also, as maybe we can see them if we scroll over here. Yeah, these beach rocks along the edge of the beach here as well too. Those are things I wanted to kind of imagine that artisans would go and make materials out of, make gifts and things like that. So that's where these rocks came from. Remember these sort of pinkish petals because they're going to be important as well too. They do look like, they are rose petals, but in my imagination they're going to be something else. And I'll show you what. Also keep in mind in that note how the bottom of the fish tank here is purple. Keep that in mind. In any case, my husband said, well, why don't you have the trees be made into drums? And I was like, oh, that's great. So that's why they are drums. These are locally made drums that you can come and buy from the Historical Society and support the Elder Council and the city government or village government of Acanthop Isle. So that is the hall all done. I'm going to do a few more things. Tidy up some edges here, put some flowers in the stairwell, for example. Maybe some hanging plants. But like I said, I like to leave it open so that, a little bit, so that as Giles or other Sims buy things who are part of the Elder Council, I can put them here in the lot. The last thing to show you is this area out here, which has a little bulletin board, which I showed you in a previous episode. That shows off what's happening in the village of Acanthop right now. If you want to know when the latest art opening is going to be, or so-and-so lost their dog, or whatever, you go here and check out the latest news of the village. And here is the back porch We have a, this is one of the places where you can drop off your mail. Here's a little mailbox here. And there's also another mailbox, or will be as soon as I get over there to do it, in the bank. And that's how you send mail, and mail gets picked up and goes back and forth on the ferry to the mainland. There you go. The council hall is all done. In the next episode, we're going to come back to the council hall and see it working. We're going to do a mock court trial and see people buying things and just work out all the kinks and do what I call play testing before I consider the lot is done and we're going to go off to another area of Acanthop. I want to thank you so much for watching. And as I am saying my outro, I'm going to send us out to the hood view so you can see our building all finished. I know that many people feel that the loading screens in The Sims 2 are unbearable. I'm very used to them, so they don't really bother me too much. And it's not often, once I come into a lot, I'm there for a while. But they don't drive me too crazy. I guess you just get used to them. But that's one of the biggest complaints that people have who played The Sims 3 and have gotten very used to it, have with The Sims 4 is a return to loading screens. Anyway, here's the council hall. Our little hall letters are not showing up. I will fix that before the next episode, as I know what the problem is with that. But they do show up. Those letters do show up, as you can see here from the bank and the bakery. You can see the letters from the hood view, which is really important to me. So I asked you to keep in mind two things. One was the purple of the bottom of the fish tank and the sort of pinkish flowers. And that's the final thing I wanted to share with you, is this Acanthop is very well known for its unique purple coral reef that surrounds the island, Sovereignty Isle, and this part of the mainland. And yeah, notice that frame rate drop. There you go. Anyway, sorry about that. But this purple coral reef, and so that's why the bottom of the fish tank is purple, and that is why I have those sort of pinkish flower petals. In my mind, I imagine that those are little scraped coral pieces in a nice little decorative platter there for Sims to buy and put in their homes. So when a Sim buys something from the Historical Society, which we'll be doing in the next episode, we'll get to see the interesting things that they buy. Do they choose to buy a drum? Do they choose to buy one of the quirky little scientific instruments we had in there? Do they choose to buy a painting? I don't know. I just love it. I love simming. And I hope you do too. And as I was saying before, I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you loved what you saw, then join the party and subscribe. And if you liked it, then hit the thumbs up button below. And as always, thanks so much for joining me and for watching. Bye-bye. Get every new Jessa Channel video right in your email inbox. Subscribe, then from your YouTube homepage, click Manage Subscriptions, then check Email with new uploads. And thanks for watching.